Dahlias have just started flowering, and I remember why I love them so much. They are fabulous flowers. However, I do have a problem with labelling them. For some reason, I seem to be incapable of labelling my dahlias right. Every year there's always something mislabelled. So this year I have, the same seems to have happened. The labels don't correspond with the flowers that I'm seeing on the plant. So I have printed out what I think I've bought with pictures of what the flower is to see what I've actually got. This spring I lost a lot of my dahlias because we had a really harsh winter and everything just went to mush. Well, not everything, but a lot. So whether that created part of the problem, whether my ineptitude for labelling them obviously was part of it, but I was convinced I had all of the dahlias in different boxes with labels in each box. I ended up with boxes without labels, boxes that were full of mush. So it was a little bit hit and miss, although it shouldn't have been, of what the dahlias are. So I do need to find out what we've got. So let's start the flower audit. This is Snowflake. I know I should have another one coming up along here. It actually looks like I've got an amaranth coming up and self-seeded, but there should be another one that is just along the way. So we have one of those. Next to it we've got Princess Elisabeth. This is both of these varieties. In fact, the first few I'm going to show you are all new varieties for me this year, so I wasn't sure what they were like, what the flowers were like, or how big the plants would grow. So we have, let's say, Princess Elisabeth. I think it's rather spectacular, actually. Loving it. This one next to it is Bonesta. I don't know how you would say that. Lovely flower with pink stripes down it. This one here is Milena Fleur. Again, lovely. Slightly darker than the Princess Elisabeth, but very similar now that I'm comparing the two. I actually have two plants of these because one of the tubers I was able to take a cutting and it's come out, so that's brilliant. I think all of this is Milena Fleur, so it's a pretty good bloomer as far as I can see. This one here is Penhill Dark Monach. It's a dinner plate variety. I love the colours, as you can see probably from my choices. Pinkies and peaches going into oranges are the colours that I seem to have chosen. I've got a lot of, maybe too many, some might say. I might need to extend. But this is a dinner plate variety, looking good. Next to it we've got Blackjack. No flowers yet, although we have got buds, so we shall see what happens with that one. Now this one here, it seems to have spread quite the way throughout. It's a cacti. It goes to like that. Now I believe that is Urchin, but I have it labelled as Bacardi. Now Bacardi, I had loads of Bacardi last year, so I'm really disappointed if I've got none of them left. I thought I had on my list, but it would seem not at the moment. Still got some to flower, so maybe one will pop up. Just hiding away in the back there, we have a lovely ball variety, which is, I've got it labelled as New Baby, but it looks very similar to Cornel Brons, so I'm not sure which one it is. I need to get a few more flowers and study what the size of the flowers are and see whether there's any difference. So it's one or the other of those. Next to it is a Café au lait Royale, it would seem. This again could have been, I thought I had Labrynth somewhere, which is a crazy flower. It may be that it's this. They're all fairly similar, I believe. So I have 3 plants in this section that all seem to be the same leaf. I thought I'd kept the Café au laits out because I just find the dinner plates just too big to use. But I seem to have got it. So we've got that one there. So I think it's a Café au lait Royale as opposed to just the Café au lait. Although that colour could well be Café au lait. I noticed last year that the flowers seem to, on the same plant, seem to have different colourings. And I don't know whether that's a feature of the Café au lait Royale. But this, I believe, is the same flower, same plant, and it's a lot more pink than the other one. But it might change with age. I don't know. So, not sure whether that's Labrynth or Café au lait Royale. And we have another one of those, so a bit disappointed that's what we've got. And we've got this one here as well. Unknown yet, so we've just got it starting out. So that might be my longed for Labrynth, or it could be Bacardi. I think, if anything, it's going to be Labrynth, although it could end up being yet another Café Royale. So we shall see. And that's it, that's what we've got at the moment. But all looking good, and some need to be picked. So this year I tried to be creative with my planting out of the dahlias and tried to do an ombre effect, starting with the whites and ending up in the darkest reds, and shifting through the paler peaches and pinks through into the darker pinks and dark reds. But because I seem to have miscalculated some, or mislabeled some of the plants, it's not quite worked like that. But you live and learn. In the future, what I am going to do in this instance is take note of the size of the plants that I have, because some of them, like Snowflake, is actually a really small plant, and I am questioning whether that is going to be appropriate for a cut flower. It's a new one this year, and really it is quite small. It may grow larger as the season progresses, in which case it would be fine, but as it stands it's a bit too small. And if that's the case, if I'd put that, and it's just coincidentally because of the colour scheme that was at the end, but that would be completely swamped by this Banista, or even the unknown that we've got there, or the dark Monach. Well, all of them actually, all of them would swamp it. This Princess Elisabeth is equally quite small. So I am wondering, conveniently, I have kind of planted them correctly for size, but I just need to make sure going forward that I continue to do that. So I am going to be making note of the size of the plant along with better labelling, and we'll see whether that works. So out of all of the dahlias that I've planted, I think my favourites are these two. The Princess Elisabeth, which is a lovely peachy colour, really, really nice. And then this Milena Fleur, which is all sorts of peaches going into yellows. I can't quite decide which one I prefer. But what I do know is that I need to expand my colours a bit. What I would really like is a soft pink flower that is roughly that sort of size. I don't mind the shape. It could be cactus, it could be pom-pom, or it could be this style, or the decorative one. I don't really mind. So those two sizes are perfect for me. but I'd quite like a softer pink. I'd like something more muted. I've got quite strong colours. If I could have the cafe flower in a smaller head, that's what I'm looking for. Or something going towards the toffees or copper and bronzes, so something a bit more that sort of colour. So if you know of any of those dahlias that would work for me, then please drop a comment below. I'd love to know, and I'd love to know what your favourite is this year. As I say, these two are doing it for me at the moment. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, and I'll be back soon. Happy growing!